Bonjour. Today we will be learning about les métiers. Les métiers are professions. First of all, there are lots of different words for a job. Here are three common ones. Un métier is the word for a profession or a career, un métier. Un travail is the most common word for a job. Un travail comes from the verb travailler. And then un boulot is a slang word. Un boulot is less formal, a less formal way to say your job. Here are three examples. Un médecin, c'est un bon métier. Being a doctor, that's a good profession or career. J'ai un travail dans un restaurant. I have a job in a restaurant. Or j'ai trop de boulot à faire. I have too much work to do. Boulot can mean a job or work. So could travail. When you learn these job words, they kind of work like adjectives in that there is a masculine form and a feminine form, depending on who has the job. Some jobs are always masculine because they used to be male-dominated professions like police officer. So some of them will just always be masculine, but most jobs have a masculine or a feminine form. For example, Henri est avocat. Avocat is a masculine lawyer. Sa femme est avocate aussi. His wife is a lawyer too, avocate with an extra E to make it feminine. Most of our adjective agreement rules apply here, like add an E to make it feminine or EUR becomes EUSE. You'll see patterns that we've learned from when we learned adjectives. Je suis danseur. I am a masculine dancer. Ma sœur est danseuse aussi. So danseur is a boy, danseuse is a girl. Here are more examples. Un chanteur, une chanteuse is how it will appear in your notes. So il est chanteur, masculine. Elle est chanteuse, feminine. Un infirmier, une infirmière is a nurse. Il est infirmier, elle est infirmière. And then professeur is one of the ones that's just always masculine, even though most teachers I've had are girls. It just is a masculine word. So you'll say il est professeur, elle est professeur. That word won't change. There are some words that have feminine forms. For example, the word professeur with an extra E on the end exists, but not many people use that. So you usually use a job as an adjective, and if it's an adjective, you won't need un or une at the beginning. You'll just say, je suis professeur. I'm a teacher. In French, it looks like I am teacher, but it means the same thing as I'm a teacher. I'm just using the word as an adjective to describe me. More examples are mon père est pharmacien, my dad's a pharmacist. Ma sœur est serveuse, my sister's a waitress. Mes amis sont femmes d'affaires, my friends are business women. Notice that I have to make words agree. So pharmacien is masculine, serveuse is feminine for sister, and my friends, they're female, so I put an S to make it feminine plural on femme. You can use jobs as nouns instead if you want to keep the un or une or des if it's plural in front, but you'll have to use c'est or ce sont. You won't just say je suis un professeur or il est un professeur. You'll say c'est un professeur. An example here is Émilie, c'est une journaliste. This means Emily, she's a journalist. Notice that I used it as a noun, journalist, because it has the word une in front, this article meaning a, and so I have to use c'est. If it's plural, the phrase is ce sont to say they are. So mes cousins, ce sont des athlètes. My cousins, they are athletes. So if I use the job as a noun, then I'll need an article in front, un, une, or des, and I'll need either c'est or ce sont. If that feels weird to you, then just do jobs as adjectives. But if you use any other adjective to describe that person and their job, then you have to use c'est and ce sont. For example, Paul Bocuse, c'est un chef français. Paul Bocuse, he's a French chef. Since I added the word French in there to describe this job, the job has to be a noun. I can't put two adjectives together. Ma tante, c'est une bonne coiffeuse. My aunt, she's a good hairstylist. Since I've added the word good, I'll have to use c'est une coiffeuse to say she's a hairstylist. So let's look at some of these jobs. I'll try to go through them quickly. Un chef is a chef. Un chauffeur is somebody who drives a car like a limousine or an Uber or a taxi. Un écrivain is a writer. Un ingénieur is an engineer. Un médecin is a doctor. Un pilote, pilot. Un plombier, plumber. Un policier, police officer. Un politicien, a politician. Un pompier, firefighter. Un professeur, teacher. Un soldat, soldier. These are all those jobs I mentioned before that are typically masculine. The word is masculine because they used to be typically masculine. Now anybody can have these jobs. One more time. Chef, chauffeur, écrivain, ingénieur, médecin, pilote, plombier, policier, politicien, pompier, professeur, soldat. After this video, I'll make another video where I just pronounce them with pauses so that you can try to repeat them. Here are jobs that all end in the letter E. You can see these E's, which means it could be masculine or feminine. You can say un architecte or une architecte, depending on who you're talking about. Un artiste, une artiste, un athlète, une athlète. Now, if you want to say a specific kind of athlete, maybe he is a baseball player. The word player is joueur. A female player is joueuse. So, un joueur de baseball, une joueuse de foot, if you wanted to be more specific than athlète. Un dentiste, une dentiste. Un comptable, une comptable is an accountant. This comes from the verb compter, to count. Un journaliste, une journaliste. Un photographe, une photographe. Un secrétaire, une secrétaire. Un scientifique, une scientifique. Here they are again. Architecte, artiste, athlète, dentiste, comptable, journaliste, photographe, secrétaire, scientifique. These words will get an extra E if you're talking about the feminine form. Un avocat, une avocate is a lawyer. That is also the word for avocado. Fun fact. Un employé, une employée. That's just a catch-all term for an employee somewhere. So if you didn't see a job that you actually do or a family member does, employé might fit. Un étudiant, une étudiante is a student in college. Avocat, avocate, employé, étudiant, étudiante. These three words end in the letter N for masculine. You will double that N and add an E if it's feminine. Un mécanicien, une mécanicienne. Un musicien, une musicienne. Un pharmacien, une pharmacienne. Mécanicien, musicien, pharmacien. Mécanicienne, musicienne, pharmacienne. These words end in EUR for masculine, become EUSE for feminine. Un chanteur, une chanteuse. Un coiffeur, une coiffeuse. Un danseur, une danseuse. Un serveur, une serveuse. Un vendeur, une vendeuse. Also, you might see the stereotypical French waiter is dressed in like a fancy little suit with a tie and a big white apron. That's true. That is how French servers dress. Almost done. These words end in IER to make them feminine. You add an accent to that second to last E, you add another E. Un caissier, une caissière. Un couturier, une couturière. Un infirmier, une infirmière. And I pronounced it kind of funny before. Caissier. Un caissier, caissière. Couturier, couturière. Infirmier, infirmière. Okay, this is the last one. These words just have completely different forms for masculine and feminine. Some of them go is. Some of them double the N. I think this is just a random group that I put together. Un acteur, une actrice is an actor. Un conducteur, une conductrice is a driver of, like, you're a truck driver maybe, or you drive a train or something like that, more commercial. Un instituteur, une institutrice is a preschool teacher. Un patron, une patronne is a boss or somebody who owns a business. Un réalisateur, une réalisatrice is a film producer or director. Un homme d'affaires is a man of business, a businessman. And une femme d'affaires is a woman of business, a businesswoman. Here are all of the words. I will create a second video where I pronounce them one more time.